And welcome everyone to this special interview we've got going on here at WJAB-TV and courtesy of Marcus Sims Media. I'm Marcus Sims, of course, and we are going to talk with a very, very special guest, singer, songwriter, percussionist, composer. And I'm sure there's a few things that I'm leaving out that hopefully he'll tell us about. I'm really, really happy to announce that Stokley will be coming to the Rocket City at Mars Music Hall on March the 12th. It's a show you don't want to miss. I'm doing all the biggest hits, his new stuff, some old school stuff, maybe some surprises, the whole nine. So first and foremost, I want to welcome to this platform, WJAB-TV and Marcus Sims Media, Stokley. Stokley, how you doing, my brother?
I'm great, man. So glad to be here with you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know busy schedule going on with you. Man, let me ask you this first and foremost. I mean, there's so many questions I got for you, huge fan, but I'm going to ask you this. 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, don't know. Of course, the world has changed. There's a whole new dynamic going on right now because of COVID-19, the pandemic and all that. Let me ask you this, as a musician and your field, how has COVID affected you?
It's very interesting. Of course, we just scared the hell out of all of us. You know, didn't know what was next in the world, questioning everything, our existence, why are we here? What's, you know what I mean? What does it all mean? You know what I mean? Because we've never seen this. So a lot of my same thoughts were, I'm sure, like everybody else's. So that's the first thing. And now within that, you start to grab hold of yourself and say, okay, look, you know, while I'm here, what do I do? What is it that I do? What is my worth? What is, you know, how can I contribute, you know, while I'm here? So you dig deep into what it is that you do, who you are, and how you got here. And how you got here, number one, is through your family, you know, so you reconnect with that if there's things that, you know, you may have taken for granted, and we all have, I believe. You know, there's a way that we go through life and we just, certain things you take for granted just because it becomes so normal. You just kind of skip over things like breathing and walking and touching and, you know, all these different things that are very normal, you know, and, you know, you just don't think about them. So you're connecting with family, that kind of thing. And then also with what it is that you do, what it is that I do is I'm an artist, you know, so over that whole piece, just recording, trying to put together some ideas that make sense to me, you know, within this whole COVID thing, you know, like everything was shutting down. And it looked really crazy for me. So I think all of us at some point were paralyzed in some ways. Like, what does anything even mean? Like what I'm working on, who's going to hear it? What, you know what I mean? But then through social media and all these things, we've created some other platforms, you know, like Versus and so many other things. You know, people were on Zoom now this is a direct hit from COVID. It's so normal now to do interviews like this on Zoom. Zoom stock must have went up, you know, I'm sure everybody's using it for meetings. People aren't returning back to work, you know what I mean? So it's a real thing. So it's changed the world in some ways for the better, you know, or just differently. You used to say whether it's better now, but it's just different way to live. But it definitely is, you take those moments and it can be inspiring as well. You see what other people are doing, you're like, you know what, you got to go on with your life, whatever you have, whatever you got, however many moments you got, you wring it out as much as you can until it's done. You know what I mean? So that's what I did with working on this latest piece, the SANKOFA piece, and going through all the ins and outs of that, you know, up and down, emotionally trying to feel whatever that those things were. So yeah, it was really, I would just say, an interesting time, as you know, the Asian proverb goes, "Maybe we live in interesting times." Well, here we are.
True.
You know, so
true.
Yeah.
True. So you've been fine, and the family's been fine, I guess.
Yes.
Through this time, right?
Health is wealth, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Now, Stokley, at what point in your career, or what point in your life did you sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to take this leap and I want to enter into the entertainment music industry? Like, did you decide that at a very early age, teenage years? When did you decide that, you know what, I want to sit here and enter into this industry?
Teenage, probably about 11th grade. 11th, 12th grade, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be out of school now. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? And
Right.
let me figure this thing out, you know. And I had to try to, you know, really double up on what it is that I was trying to do. I've always been pretty driven, like to practice, you know, and get my skill set up, whatever it is that I was working on at the time, whether it be drums, whether it be whatever I was into. I just put my mind to it and just make sure that I can be the best that I can, compete with myself, and just, you know, do everything that I can to be at a satisfactory level, you know, beyond satisfactory, I should say. Um, so yeah, teenage years is when I started really focusing on it. And then, you know, I had all these odd jobs at the same time. And, you know, the whole thing of a struggling musician is in trying to keep a job and have an understanding boss that's going to let you leave and hit some gigs on the side, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, you have these gigs that you, opportunities that you get, you know, through, you know, corporate world or whatever I was working on at the time, and vacillating between the two, you know. And this thing came up. I had my first tour because I was primarily, you know, doing a lot of drums and singing background for a lot of people. I wasn't really doing I'm a drummer and percussionist by trade.
Right.
My first big tour came with a guy named George Pettis. He had a song called Can You Wait? He was on MCA Records, you know, a good friend of mine. It's been years, you know, just I've seen him. But we were opening for Whitney Houston. It was like the 1987, 88 Moment of Truth tour in Europe. And that was my first big tour. Went over there and seen every nook and cranny, seemed like, of Europe. Got to meet so many people on the tour. Whitney herself, we became cool and had remained friends, you know, the time till she passed away. And yeah, that was, you know, that was the thing. And I had just turned 20, I believe. And that's the thing where I was like, okay, this is really it. I'm definitely going to lock in. You know, I was locked in before, but that's what really, really, really did it, you know? So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Now let's jump right to it. I'm looking forward to this. Let's talk about your SANKOFA project, your latest project. Some great singles we've already heard. Let's get right to it, bro. Let's tell us about, first of all, a beautiful title, the SANKOFA title, but tell us about what to expect about this vibe that we're getting from the new project, SANKOFA.
Well, SANKOFA is a word that means, it comes from a Ghanaian. It's a Ghanaian term, which means go back and get it. From the Ghanaian, there's a language they speak there called Twi. And so for me, it just means to go back, and it's how you got here. Remember what you came through, who you came through, how you came to be. And a lot of the genres that I deal with, a lot of the, I should say, decades that you can hear, you know, like the 70s, the 80s, with like the Bonfire, Cascade, the song got kind of like that 80s feel, kind of almost like, some people have said it sounds like M2 May, or it sounds like Screams of Passion by the Family. And that's got that 80s vibe. I just did stuff that I missed. The 90s vibe, I call my roller skating song Vibrant, but Snoop, you know, I just missed it. It's like, I want to roller skate again. It's just like, so I did a song that, you know, that did that vibe that I missed. The song with Wale, Cafe, has like a modern twist to it. You know what I mean? This kind of mid-tempo with all these just kind of this imagery, you know, that I wanted to create. So there's, you know, there's like the past and the future, and we have this present moment, these things this thread that I weave throughout, and that's the percussive side of me. Mm-hmm. You know, so you have these little interludes that are interspersed throughout the album, and that's the thread that runs throughout it. You know, and then of course with my Ghanaian brother Kitty, Ghanaian star, is doing amazing things over there in Ghana, and really making some waves, and starting to make some waves in the States as well. We cut the song with him, did an amazing video over in Accra, Ghana. First time I had touched down there, and you can see just all the amazing imagery of you're just really complimenting Black women, and you're looking at how they do what they do, all their different hairstyles, all the imagery, you know, all the shades. I mean, just really paying homage to that kind of thing. So just kind of again, man, all the branches of the tree of Black music, everything that we've created here in this country that we don't even realize, the rock and roll, we forget that,
Right.
we think that it's not something that's from us, it's so much. We got a rich legacy. Just if anything, this album is just in case you forgot who we are. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like on that vibe. And so SANKOFA is at bottom. It's a collaboration with artists, writers, and creative types, and some of my favorite people. And me, with her as well. Just how can I forget her? Just amazing artist that she is, and she's just getting started, is what I feel. She's really making her waves right now. She'll be here for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And she's still developing. So I mean, that's the scary thing about it, which is crazy. So she's doing a lot of amazing things. So I'm really, really proud of that song that we collaborated on as well. But yeah, so I mean, you can see there's I'm straddling the fence between old and new, and this is what I've been told. It's like you got your foot in the past and the future, which is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what SANKOFA is about, really bridging the gap between that. And with the term, first of all, SANKOFA, and SANKOFA it's we all practice SANKOFA. We all want that. We're all trying to figure out who we are, right? Where we came from, how we came to be. That's what the whole concept of it is, So just bringing that forth is what I'm doing. So this is my offering. It's a lot of energy on it. It's very cinematic. The title track itself is really cinematic. If you listen to it, it sounds like it should be in a movie. But it's my movie, in my head. So hopefully you can get that, put on some headphones. And I wanted everybody to have that experience, not just, because we used to listen to music differently. You really would listen to music back in the day. You put on a pair of headphones, close your eyes, sit there, and you just vibe out, and you just go on that journey from top to bottom. Now these days, I think we're on our way somewhere listening to records, in the car, which is a great place to listen, experience it, but we're always doing something. So we're not, it's kind of like background music sometimes,
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think I wanted to create this kind of project where you can listen from top to bottom. And that's the feedback that I've been getting. So when I hear that, I'm like, that's exactly what we, set out to do. So.
And I have to say this, Stokley, when I first heard Cascade, I was driving, I was taking a road trip. And I mean, it was just so funky when it came across the speakers in the car. I said, that sounds like Stokley. So, as I'm driving, something that don't do kids, I said, let me Shazam this song real quick and see who this is. And I was like, oh, wow. So really a dope, I mean, and you captured that vibe because it definitely had that 80s type feel that I guess that you were going for in it.
Yes.
I'm thinking more Minneapolis and Tume, that
there
type
you go.
Vibe that you wanted.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, mission accomplished on that one. What's it like working with old Uncle Snoop on the album?
Snoop was smooth, man. He is what you see. I mean, just a good time, man. He's just gonna bring that good vibration and just chill. And what he does, he's amazing at. So to watch him work, it was just, he's quick, super quick, and just like, man, so we're just sitting there talking. We're talking about projects that he has coming up and some of his aspirations and things that he wants to do, some of his goals. So it was cool just chopping it up with him. And then, at the video, same thing, just seeing him work, man, and having him just enjoying himself. We just really just having a good time. So, but that dude, he's amazing. You can see all the things that he's doing, all the energy that he's creating around him, which is really dope. You know what I mean? So I'm just really glad that I've able to go through some of this journey, share my journey, and his with me,
Hey, now, Stokley, talk about this. Now, like I said, you're coming with all these hits now, because when I heard the single "Her," that's another one. I'm like, good grief! Like you're hitting them hard, brother. I mean, there has to be award people. There has to be something coming up for Stokley, and we're claiming that one. But talk about the single "Her."
Oh man, yeah, Rush. That was, and she spearheaded that one, and I just wanted to put some of my creativity on it just to make it a full collaboration. But again, she's a monster and still growing. A beautiful monster, I should say. And I mean, it's amazing collaboration. Just the sounds, again, cinematic, very sensual, very sexy. very visual. It just feels good, rolling through the feedback that I've been getting. It's just like, man, it just feels right. It feels good. So I'm really proud of that song and just really glad that she was able to come on and, collaborate with me. So I'm really, really thankful for that. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And now all of the singles that we're talking about, they are going to be on the SANKOFA album, correct?
They are on the SANKOFA album presently. You can go get it wherever you frequently love to consume music, all your streaming platforms, all of it, iTunes, Amazon, all of it. Right now, it's on sale.
And let me ask you this, though. I'm saying, because whenever I think of this, and correct me, please, when I think of the term neo soul, I think of Stokley as the godfather of neo soul. And
wow.
Is that a fair assessment? Do you kind of see where I'm going with that, with the music that you've been putting out for quite a while now? When I think of artists like a D'Angelo, Erykah Badu, or Jill Scott, I would also say, well, okay, these are great artists, but you had to have had a Stokley, you had to have had a Raphael Sadiq, guys like this who opened up doors. Do you see yourself as, how do you see yourself in that genre? Some folks don't even like the term neo soul. I love the genre. I don't care.
Right. I mean, whatever y'all love with anything I've been associated with, I love, because all I can do, I consider what I do a success once it's outside of my body. After that, you can't control how people box it, how people, how they consume it, how they, we can manipulate things through press and all these different things, but you don't know how it's going to end up and affect somebody. So all I can do is control what it is that I do and make the music and the art that I do. Once it's outside of me and it's exactly the way that I want, it's a success. After that, I leave it for folks like you just to kind of like, oh, what does it mean for you? And that's what's important. What does it mean to you? If it means something really important, like that's, I appreciate that. So for me, and I probably speak for a lot of different artists, our thing is just, to do free music, the music that we are part of our sensibility, part of our makeup, things we're influenced by. We don't, when we're creating the music, we're not thinking of a genre, or we just like what we like, but it could be a genre. It could be R&B or kind of R&B trap or R&B soul,
right,
or new soul, whatever you want to call it. As long as it's good and it's hitting you in the right spots, and you leave the building a little bit differently than what you walked in feeling, and it just a little bit of higher vibration. That's really what matters, So for me, whatever you want to call it, as long as it's good, I'm loving it. You know what I mean? Right. So we can continue on that path.
Awesome. Stokley, who are some of the artists that you listen to? Who are like name drop some folks that maybe we don't know, or who are some of the folks that's on your playlist that you listen to?
I love Emily King. Okay. I love Masego. Love Masego. Lucky Day.
Right.
I like Ty Dolla $ign. I love his instrument, just that gravelly. Alex Isley, Little Dragon, Tank and the Bangers.
Okay.
Tiana Major 9. There's so many people out here young that are really doing it. That's really musical and just doing some real creative, got some creative thoughts. So yeah, that's a few of them. Yeah.
Were you surprised? Now I thought it was so cool when it happened a while ago. How TikTok and a whole new generation of youngsters picked up 30 years later. In which it dates me. It's amazing. But you're seeing how these songs are coming back. How on TikTok, how Breaking My Heart came back. How did that surprise you? For those who haven't, you can look it up online. How that's amazing. That's amazing.
I seen it developing some months back, but to get to this fever pitch is just nuts, man. So, but to be a part of that, having the new generations, discover you is a testament to music and how powerful it is and how it will just live on after you. And that is a great thing. It's like, so all we're doing is just signing our name. I was here. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is. So it lives on. And this, again, I'm glad to be part of the music community, the artist community, because that's what it's all about. And that is bigger than any like plaque or anything that you can receive, because it lives past the plaque, something that is, is just in you. You know what I mean? It's just unless you write down music, you can't really see it, but it's powerful when it hits you. And when it hits you, it doesn't matter what genre, it doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter what year. They get it. When you get it, it's like, oh, this is crazy. It's amazing. So to be a part of that is an amazing thing. It's these amazing moments that we're having, that I am a part of. I'm thankful. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Stokley, we're located on the HBCU Alabama A&M's campus, and there are a lot of great musicians that have come through here. Everyone from a Ruben Studdard to the great musician, producer, Kelvin Wooten, and many, many others. What advice would you give for a student who wants to enter the music industry, whether it's a producer or maybe as a musician? What could you give them a couple tips out there for any students here on the campus of Alabama A&M or those who are watching abroad who would want to enter in this industry?
I would just say, and it's pretty simple. Number one, whatever your skill set is, develop it. Do the work, thoroughly. Research, find out who's been there before you, find out, because that's what's going. You're trying to set yourself up for a career, not a moment, not just fame for 3 to 5 years and making a whole bunch of money or something like that, because those moments and money is fleeting if you don't do the right things with it. So, align yourself with people who are of your same caliber or more, and hang out with different people, people from other walks of life. You just need to have a healthy admixture. It's great to hang out with musicians and get that whole vibe too, but this is the media industry. I don't even call it the music business anymore, just because there's so much that is aligned with music. We have video now, we have social media. It's all part of it. It's a part of your production. It's a part of your distribution. So, which brings me to technology. Always pay attention to technology, because that's what moves any industry forward. We had horse and buggy, then we had, combustion engine, you know what I mean? So now we got electric cars, you know what I mean? And those who didn't really keep up, you don't even hear of them anymore, you know what I mean? So your skill set, the technology, and pay attention to the business, how it, it's all connected, are the three things that I usually say. Learn everything, because it's like with this digital realm now, some of the business and the way that that's changing, still changing. It's like we're still writing this thing, and the technology is moving so quick that we're still catching up. So those three things that I would really make sure that you are, and take your time, develop. Stop trying to get there in a hurry. You know what I mean? That's because a lot of I tell my son too. It's like, you'll get there. Don't worry. A lot of the kids are in a rush to get where they want to be. Don't be afraid. When you say, there's always a negative connotation with following. Okay, before you lead, you have to follow, learn all the positions. So then when you get there and you want to be, quote unquote, a boss, everybody's position because you've been there, and you can actually say, I know your position. I can do your position. I've done your position. You know what I mean? So here's how that should go. But now they can, flourish and have these people shine their gifts in these areas. So, don't be in such a hurry. Learn the positions from the bottom to the top. So that means just take the time. And the easiest way to get there is just to do the work. Like I said, it's not anything. If there's a nugget in there, I hope you get it. But be determined, be focused, stay focused. The hardest thing is, a lot of time is to be, music, art is a discipline. I know you look at all these, the videos and all this stuff, but you spend most of the time by yourself or with a few guys or whatever, trying to figure out how things go and try to get to that higher vibration, but stay inside of the process and you'll get there. Just stay determined and focus.
Wow. Look, if you want an album that you can ride to, dance to, a nice slow jam album, let me tell you right now, check out the album SANKOFA from my man Stokley. He is coming to the Rocket City Mars Music Hall March the 12th. I guarantee you it's a show you don't want to miss. I know I've already seen the places. I would suggest if you haven't got your tickets, you may want to get them now. There's not too many left.
Yeah, we also.
Yeah, we don't want to miss out on this one. A great artist. As I said before, I'm calling him the godfather of neo soul. And, you know, one of my favorite artists, and we want to once again thank Stokley for taking time out of his schedule to join us. Stokley, how can someone find out more information about you, tour dates, and digital media and all that?
So if you want to stay up with me, Stokley Official, and that's at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or my, you can go to istokley.com. That's ISTOKLEY.com. You know, my tour dates, you know, all kind of stuff in there. I even got some stuff for sale, hats, t-shirt, you know, all kind of stuff in there, man. Yeah,
so basically you can follow Stokley on all your social media platforms. Check out the album SANKOFA. And if you're on TikTok, check out the Breaking My Heart challenges. They are a trip. They are a trip.
Great.
But it's so cool. The next generation picking it up for my man Stokley. Stokley, brother, we want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and we look forward to having you in the Rocket City, and we wishing you the best of luck and success with the album SANKOFA, brother.
Thank you. Can't wait to see y'all. Come out, get some tickets, because it's like I want everybody to see it. So otherwise, I just have to do another show and come back. So I mean, yeah, that's how we're gonna do.
You have to come back. You have to come back.
Yeah, that's how
all right, my man.
Appreciate
Stokley,
you, man.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you.